The following is a sponsored program paid for by Yaba TV.
Welcome to our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. I am your host, Yesir. So today, our topic is creating a financial legacy. So I have a guest on today's show, Richard McFalls, who has so much information to share with you when it comes to creating a financial legacy. So you may want to take your pen and paper to write notes, jot down some important points for this show, and then at the end of the show, you want to connect with him where he can help you create a financial legacy for you and your family. So we are in for a special treat today. Everybody that you know, tell everyone about our beautiful show. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. I am your host, Yesir. So today our topic is creating a financial legacy. And my guest on the show is Richard McFalls. He has so much information to share with you, so you don't want to miss this show today. Tell everybody you know about our beautiful show. But at this time, I'd like to welcome my guest on the show today. Richard, welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's talk about you. Our viewers that are watching the show, they're curious to know, who is Richard?
Well, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I've lived here all of my life. I'm married. I have two beautiful daughters as well. My wife is actually Yoruba. She's Nigerian. Woo-hoo. Yes. So she's in the family.
Yes.
And we're very, very active in our church and in our community as well. You know, we're always trying to make it a better place.
So let's talk about, what do you do exactly in the community?
Well, my most important job, as I alluded to, is being a good husband, good father to my children, serving God. Not necessarily in that order. God always comes first. But professionally, I help business owners and business professionals, families, and individuals achieve financial balance and create better financial outcomes. My mission is to normalize financial literacy so that it shouldn't be something that's odd or special, that everyone should be financially literate. And so I work with my clients, with the community, to provide them the tools and the guidance to achieve financial balance.
Okay. So what is mostly the legacy that we talk about here, building a financial legacy? Talk a little bit about that, please.
Well, it's about leaving something. You know, a legacy can be just something that you pass on to the next generation. And we do that through passing on wisdom to our children, through building our communities, but also we do that financially as well, making sure that we are moving something forward from this generation into the next so that our children have something to work with. And when we pass away, you know, it's always going to be sad when we lose a loved one, but when we are able to leave something to them, which can be financial as well, you know, it's very powerful for a community, and it's how we spread generational wealth by moving that forward, and we change our communities for the future forever.
So in the plight of building that legacy, what are some of the tools that you use?
Well, I help my clients to learn how money works, what they need to do to make it work in their favor, to leverage it, you know, from something small to make it something larger. And they do that by investing, but also helping my clients to know how to plan for their retirement, how to send their children to college as well.
Tell us about the insurance services that you offer.
Well, life insurance can be a very, very powerful tool. In fact, it's one of my most important tools that I use with my clients. Life insurance can be purely for protection for passing on money through a death benefit, leveraging pennies to dollars, and providing that death benefit, but it can also be used as an asset as well. So with the type of life insurance that I use, it can also be considered a part of your portfolio. So just going by a study that we have and using this tool, LIMRA and Life Happens just released a study this year that shows us that over 106 million adults in America are not insured or they're underinsured. And what this tells us is that people who have insurance may not have the right amount of insurance as well.
How do you know when would you consider insurance to be enough or just enough?
Well, we don't guess at all. We use a concept called human life value to determine the amount of insurance that a person needs. So in using human life value, we take factors in like inflation and make the calculations to determine how much life insurance is needed. So for instance, we have a person that makes $50,000 and we have another person that makes $500,000. The basic formula that we use is exactly the same. So those people, just say we take a 35-year-old and they're going to retire at age 65, 30 years into the future, they will have made 1.5 million and 15 million respectively. And we take that formula and we factor in inflation and all of the other things that we're dealing with right now financially. The dollars that we have today are not going to be worth as much in the future. So 30 years down the line, our dollars today won't buy us as much. So we have to factor that in as well. But we determine human life value that way, and we base the insurance on those numbers.
Interesting. Let me go back to the insurance factor.
Yes.
I know you mentioned insurance is considered asset.
Right.
So be specific for the layman on the street. The asset meaning, is it life insurance with living benefit?
Yes, absolutely. You've got it exactly right. So there are living benefits to certain types of life insurance. You have insurance that is pure protection, and that's term insurance. It's like your auto insurance. If you have an accident, that it pays you. If you don't, then you have been protected for all that time. And that's how term insurance works for a specific amount of time. And then you have permanent life insurance like whole life and universal life. I won't get into all those different technical things, but those also accrue cash value. And so over time, you'll be able to build up money with a product like this. And if you are if you follow the rules, you can end up with quite a nice asset.
We need to take a quick break to acknowledge our sponsors, to hold your thoughts for just one moment. When we come back, we will continue with our discussion, building a financial legacy. Don't go away. You're back with our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. I am your host, Yasir. So today we are speaking with Richard McFalls. We're talking about financial legacy, building a financial legacy. If you were watching the show before, you've gotten some information, but there's more to share with you when I come back to my guest. Richard, it's a pleasure to have you one more time.
It's wonderful being here.
Yes. So let's talk about people that are skeptical to get insurance, life insurance for any reason. For example, I speak of some African communities. They don't get life insurance, and when the person passes away, they have what we call committee of friends, and everybody contributes, and they have like a wakekeeping. You come in, you sign in your name, you contribute what you can contribute for the person. I mean, that's great. That's love. But the reality is life insurance is there for times such as that. Correct me if I'm wrong. What should we Africans be doing? Some Africans.
Yes. Well, it is a big concern, and it's actually very common that some people feel like if they get insurance, it's going to cause something to happen. and you know that's one of the reasons that
Mystery.
they don't want to do it. But the way I see it and the way I talk to my clients about it is, we have insurance for our homes, we have insurance for our cars, we have insurance on our phones, and if something happens to our house, if a natural disaster, or we we get into an accident in our car, we don't necessarily expect our family and friends to come and buy us a new car,
Right.
or to buy us a new phone.
Ah, I see your
right?
analogy.
Yes, and so it's fine, and we do that out of love when we contribute to the loss in a family or with friends. You know, it's something that we're glad to do, but we have that additional tool that's available to turn pennies into dollars, to turn hundreds of dollars into thousands of dollars, to turn thousands of dollars into millions of dollars by leveraging what the insurance company will provide, the contract of paying the premiums, and they are entitled to that death benefit. So it's something that is very prudent. It's one of the most basic things that we can do. And it's providing good stewardship, essentially, to be able to have that death benefit that's available. And then those living benefits that we've talked about before as well. So we can still continue to support our families and friends and to rally around them when someone passes away. But we can also have that additional tool so that we don't have to rely upon those gifts, which may or may not be available when they're needed.
The way you laid down the analysis, it was quite clear. I mean, there was no better way it could have been said.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. So for someone that is watching today that is a little skeptical to take life insurance, number one. Number two, or for someone that is not skeptical to take life insurance, but they have medical condition,
Right.
where do they fit? What do you do for them?
It varies from person to person. You know, of course, if a person is young and healthy, the insurance is going to be, more inexpensive. It's going to be easier for them to obtain. But I work with all major insurance carriers. So I will, if one company traditionally probably is not good at people with medical conditions, then I'll go to another one. You know, we'll find something for them for that protection. And then if we want to have something that's going to work as essentially a non-correlated type of asset to be a part of their portfolio, we look at all of those different things that are available. And so for those that are skeptical, it won't hurt you to have a conversation with me, and we'll look at what's available out there, and we'll talk about your situation and what your needs are and how you might benefit from just having that insurance.
What about someone that is been with you, let's say they started when they were in their teenage years, 18, 20, 19, 18, and then all of a sudden when they hit 40, a major illness came their way. And so it's become a disaster where that illness is so chronic, and the insurance company probably may either increase their premium or maybe drop them. Is that a
It doesn't
possibility?
happen during the term of the life insurance. So if you have a term policy for 20 years, for 30 years, they can't cancel you because you become ill or your status changes. You'll be able to have that insurance for the full term, and if you have the permanent type of policy that I talked about, then you can own that for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter what happens to your health. You are entitled to own that policy contractually and to pay the same premiums. And for that death benefit, it's guaranteed to pay.
I do want to thank you so much for coming to my show. But before we go off the air, look at the camera and tell our audience where they can find you.
Well, I'm easy to find on the web, www.richardmcfalls, Richard, M-C-F-A-L-L-S, richardmcfalls.com. And from there, you can book a meeting with me right from the website. And I look forward to meeting your viewers and helping them to create their legacy as well.
Wonderful. I thank you so much again for being a guest on my show today and for sharing with our viewers what you know about building a financial legacy. This is something needed in our community, especially in our Black community.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying other communities don't need it, but particularly in our Black communities, we need that education. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge that you brought on the table. And I wish you continued success in all your endeavors and your marriage. Bravo. Yes. Thank you again for being a guest on my show. I appreciate you.
My pleasure.
You're welcome. We do need to take another quick break to acknowledge our sponsors, the people who make us smile, that bring this show to you. But after we acknowledge our co-sponsors, we are going to take you to Music Video Land. That's the place that you want to be. For someone that is watching our show for the very first time, they always dialogue with us. Yaba, we love the music video. Keep bringing Africa to us. Keep bringing, shining the flag of Africa to the U.S. on the airwaves. And that's what we're trying to do here. So we need to take a quick break to acknowledge our sponsors. We'll be back in a moment. Wasn't this a beautiful show today? You know, knowledge is power, and this show was full of power-packed knowledge to teach you information about your financial legacy, something that you'll be proud of, something that your kids will be proud of, even after you leave. But if you have a question, you want to connect with my guests on today's show. If you have a comment, you want to connect with us. We want to hear from you. Our show is airing every Sunday at 4 p.m. right here on KCAL 9. If this is your first time watching our show, I'm sure you enjoyed it. But come back again next week because we are on every Sunday at 4 p.m. on Channel 9. We have a YouTube channel, Yaba Media. Go to our YouTube channel, enjoy some of the shows that we have lined up for you. But after that, I recommend that you like, share, and subscribe. That's the only way I know you're liking what we're doing, bringing you Africa based on first-hand knowledge. Also go to our Instagram page, Yaba TV. Follow us on Instagram, Yaba TV. Till then, we will see you next week. But before I go, if you have what it takes to be a guest on my show, and you want to be a guest on this show and sit on this hot chair, contact us. Our phone number is 562-833-8294 or 562-548-2741. Or if you're just coming in town for the first time and you want to connect with our international platform, contact us. If you're getting married or you're having a special event and you want a coverage on Yaba TV, contact us. Our number again is 562-833-8294. Till then, we will see you next week at the same time on the Yaba TV show, your contemporary bridge to the motherland, Africa.
The proceeding was a sponsored program paid for by Yaba TV.